have bananas on my shirt. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been quite a while since I've made a video. I've been very busy. So obviously I haven't been reading a lot. I've went through a really bad book slump in the month of February. So yeah, so I suck. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to read more and I just can't. But here's the thing. I decided, because I feel like I'm very busy, and while I love to read and I want to read more, sometimes I only get to read a book a month. So I decided to combine my wrap-up video to be 3 months, or technically 2 months, because I didn't really read anything in February or finish anything in February. And so it's going to be January, February, and March wrap-up. So these are the books that I basically read in those 3 months. If you see me like going like this, it's my cat. He just like wants to come up to me, so just ignore it. But anyways, yeah, these are the books that I read in January, February, and March. So without further ado, these are the books that I read. So let us get started. So the first book that I actually read is Star Wars Heroes for a New Hope, and I will put a picture up right here. It is by Mark Waid, and it is a collection of actual comics, or it's a graphic novel collection. It consists of the Princess Leia comic, Chewbacca comic, and Lando comics. So it's totally 3 different kind of stories in one thing. I gave this graphic novel 4 stars. While I wasn't really a big fan of the other ones besides Princess Leia's story, because I really like Princess Leia's story, I just wasn't really connected to the other stories. But I was in love with Chewbacca's, the story of Chewbacca and his art direction. So the way the art was, I loved it. They all had it kind of varied in art, and I feel like his is a lot more stylistic. I don't know who specifically did his run, his side, his story, but I really enjoyed his to look at more than Princess Leia's story. So that was pretty cool, and I gave that 4 stars. So yeah. So basically, I know as I made a video talking about kind of my book resolutions, New Year's resolutions, and one of them was to be listening to more audiobooks. The second book that I kind of finished in January was actually The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, and I listened to that on audiobook, and it's a book that I've always really wanted to read, even since first hearing about it. When the movie came out a long time ago, I went to a Catholic school and I grew up Catholic. And I remember when the movie came out, there was like, people were like standing outside movie theaters with picketed signs. And that was always something that was intriguing because of the controversy. And so when I saw it on this app that I use for audiobooks, I was like, I have to read it. And lo and behold, it's like 105 chapters, which I didn't expect. And I actually started in January. I started it in December of 2017 and didn't finish until January. And I honestly was not happy with this book. I think the movie was a lot better. I gave this book 2 stars. The writing was... You know what? I don't even think I need to really talk about this in depth, because I feel like it's just not worth it. So yeah, I gave it 2 stars. 2 stars. I'm not even gonna waste my time. But it wasn't a very good book. And you can probably look up on Goodreads and see a lot of people's opinion on it. And you can probably know what I mean when I say it really is worth only 2 stars. Because it wasn't a good book. And it's kind of sad, because I feel like I wasted my time with it. It's only my fault for sticking through, because of 105 chapters. You think, oh, well, you could totally stop. But the thing is I had to finish it. And at the time, I had seen the movie so long ago that I didn't even remember what happened at the end. So it was just best to finish it so I knew what was happening. And I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's done. So yeah. The next book that I read in January was The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I absolutely love this book. I gave this book 5 stars. This book really surprised me. I actually found out about this book through Peru's project. I remember her talking about it in either a wrap-up or something. But this book is so interesting, and it's definitely not a cookie cutter story, which you tend to see a lot in YA, and I feel like I don't know if I would count this as YA. I mean, technically, yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, it's Simon & Schuster teen. So yeah, I guess it's a YA book, but I feel like it was very non-cookie cutter YA. And I would really suggest someone who likes Star Wars, actually, surprisingly. I know I talk a lot about Star Wars, but like, you're probably thinking, wow, this girl, she only talks about Star Wars. But I really would suggest this because it obviously takes place in like a galactic senate, and it's a lot of like, you know, mystery and kind of like a lot of Game of Thrones-esque type stuff, like characters trying to one-up each other. And I'm definitely happy that I spent money on this. It was only like $5 at Books A Million, or actually I think it was less than that. It might have been like $3 something. I got it in the bargain section. So if you can find this in the bargain section at Books A Million, I would highly suggest buying this book. I know there is a second book to this. I've heard bad things. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to read it yet, but this book, green light. I would say go with it because it was so good and I'm so happy I read it. So yeah. So I did not read anything the month of February. February was actually a really bad month for me. February is, I mean, single girls. Is February great? No. Valentine's Day sucks, and the month of Valentine's Day just, you know, it's just kind of, it's gross outside, it's still winter, but you have to be all, I mean, everyone's like, oh, happy and lovable, and oh, you know, hard eyes. No. So February, I went through a really bad reading slump. So moving on to March. So March, I actually read Orange Volume 2. This is the complete collection. Volume 2, or complete collection Volume 2. This is by Ichigo Takano. This was the conclusion to the story of Orange, but I know recently Ichigo Takano actually released the follow-up to Orange, which I haven't even looked into buying, which obviously I'm going to have to finish it. But I really liked this story. I liked the way it ended. I gave this book 5 stars just because the art style is amazing. The characters are great. I feel like I really connect with the character of Naho. I don't know why. I feel like she's me. She's like so like quiet and shy, and I'm a very shy, introverted person, and I feel like I'm really very much so like her. But then I could also see like connecting a lot to Kakeru. Kakeru? Yeah, sorry, I can't pronounce names. Like, I could totally empathize with him. So I feel like there's just a lot of characters in this book, in this manga. I guess it's a manga. I guess it's a manga. There's a lot of characters in this manga that are just really relatable for me, and I think that's really why I liked it. So yeah, loved it. And the most recent book that I finished, I know I only read like 5 or 6 books. No, 5 books actually. Is The Novice by Taran Matharu. This is book 1 of the Summoner series. This book was good, but it wasn't amazing, and I expected a lot more of this. Actually, the characters are very much bland, and I mean, I felt like I was also reading like a Harry Potter rehash to an extent, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a Harry Potter fan fiction, but apparently it wasn't. The story was an original story written on Wattpad, which is cool. Like, it's really cool for me to see authors that write stories on non-conventional ways online, just because I'm a writer and I've put my stuff out there, let alone it is fan fiction, but it's cool, and I mean, yeah, it's cool to see that kind of stuff and then get big and get published and whatnot. And I'm not gonna lie, I really liked the cover of this. I think the cover is so cool, and I know some people don't like, a lot of people in BookTube do not like people on the covers, but I do. I don't know why. It's just makes it more dramatic. But yeah, I will definitely read the second one, but if the second one doesn't satisfy the need that I was looking for, then I probably will DNF the series, just because I was looking for a book that could kind of introduce me into fantasy. I am more of a contemporary teen romance, I guess. I don't even know. I like sci-fi, but fantasy has always been something that has been hard for me to break into, and that's not only with like books, but it's also with games and movies. Although I do like Harry Potter, I don't know if that would count as fantasy, but like Lord of the Rings never really caught my eye. So I was hoping this book would kind of introduce my love for fantasy, and it did not. Exactly. It didn't really, it kind of maybe just lit the fire, and then the fire kind of burned out. So hopefully if I read the second one, which is probably not going to be on the top of my TBR, it will maybe turn my feelings around for it. So I don't know. Let's hope. I really don't know. But those were the books that I read from January to March. The last book that I do want to mention, it is kind of like a honorable mention, I guess, is The Dark Worlds of H.P. Lovecraft. The cover of it is right up here. I was actually listening to it on audiobook, and I realized, okay guys, so let me start at the beginning. So I've been really getting into H.P. Lovecraft inspired type stories and video games. I played a game called Black Mirror on the PS4, and it was apparently really inspired by H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe. And I've been hearing a lot about H.P. Lovecraft. There is a video game channel, a reviewer called Scarfulu. I don't know if he's British, but I've been watching a lot of his videos, and he's obsessed with H.P. Lovecraft inspired video games, and he does a lot of reviews, and I've just been watching a lot of his videos, and so I've just been really intrigued of what is H.P. Lovecraft? What is he all about? So I decided to listen to this audiobook, and unfortunately I could not really get into it because the audiobook, I think it was something that I needed to read. So, me being me, I recently went to Books A Million and I picked up The Art of the Last Jedi, of course, because I needed that in my life, but that's besides the point. Again, she's talking about Star Wars, so, but I picked up the Lovecraft Compendium by H.P. Lovecraft, and I believe the one that I was listening to consists of the same, but this one has the Introduction, Dagon, The Call of Cthulhu, Dunwich Horror, Whisper in the Darkness, and The Haunter of the Dark. I was listening to the Dunwich Horror, and I was able to kind of listen along, let alone when I'm listening to audiobooks, the majority of it is I'm driving, so I'm not really kind of listening half the time. I mean, I am if I'm really interested, but yeah, that's a whole nother story. So this is definitely a TBR. I guess this is going to be something that you guys might see in the future. I'm definitely going to read this. I'm really excited because I don't know why. I'm like super excited to read a story of short stories that are horror. I don't know why, but yeah. You guys might see that. I don't know why. Honorable mention. I started reading it, didn't finish it, so I might as well just mention it in the video. But yeah, that was, you know, my wrap up for January and March. Let's just skip February because it was a bad month, didn't read. January and March, those were my books that I read. Hopefully I will be doing April, May, and June wrap up, maybe even just an April, May wrap up. I did a 3-month wrap up just because, again, I only read about maybe 2 or 3 books a month, and I feel like just doing a month, even 2 months, I mean, I could be going through a really bad book slump. I feel like I'm enjoying reading when I'm reading, but I'm having a hard time when I'm in a book slump. I'm in a book slump. So I've been doing other things, obviously, but yeah, I hope to see you guys in another video soon. If you guys read any of these books that I mentioned in this video, tell me what you think about them. Find me on Goodreads. The links are down below. And I hope you guys have a great day. It's raining outside, so it's not really great for me, but it's okay. You know, gotta look on the bright side, right? But yeah, I will see you guys in another video soon.